Hey, Court, I'm gonna call you back about an hour. What up, Mac Heads and Maniacs? M. Seth, my partner about to come on, and I don't have a clue what he want to say or what he want to talk about. Y'all may remember him from the Graffiti Artist videos. He is in the building. What's up with you, Seth?
What's up? What's up, Kev? Happy Father's Day, bro.
Same to you, man. Good looking out. You know, today I got the most texts in my life.
Oh yeah.
I got one phone call, and I missed the call, and that's the only person that actually called. Everybody else texts, but I've never had this many texts in my life. Maybe I'm getting older, or maybe I'm getting more popular.
Yeah, right. Maybe both. Maybe both. Yeah. So yeah, man. I first I know you. I seen a little piece on it, but I hadn't seen the video. So then I was like, "Where is that? Where is that?" So I went on there, and I was laughing, man, because we all used to get a kick off of this one when that happened back in the day, right? And I was sitting here reminiscing. I was like, "Oh hell yeah, that was a funny minute," because when we got up there to the booth, well, we was over there, we was hitting corners. We go different little spots, and when we rolled up and went to go get that dude, he threw me off because he was so nonchalant, not phased by it. You feel me? And I was like, run that shit. Like, give me your wallet. Woo, woo, woo. I was on my little shit. And he just was like, "Hey, can you give me a minute? I'm on the phone. Can we handle this like in a minute?" And I was like kind of thrown off. And because a part of when you're out there doing all that, it's a level of strong arm, and the other half is just actually doing whatever you might do about it to push the limit or push the level on it. And he just kept throwing me off because he didn't never try to act threatful. He never tried to act like I ain't scared of you, no kind of weird shit, but just kind of like calm and like, okay, well, just let me finish my call type thing. So it had my head thinking a little bit like, why he so calm and why he not phased? And then I started thinking, okay, so the next level is, do I really want to do this dude like this? And to what level? Because if I strike him and he respond back, it's going to escalate. And how dirty do I want it? And what am I really might get off this fool, right? So then I'm thinking to myself, you know what? And I'm thinking, like you say, I walked. I was like, man, this fool ain't even, It's like, no, go back and get him. Go back and get him. So I went again. Maybe I think too much. And then maybe on the other side of it, that ain't my thing, bro. Like if I really got to tear this fool down over something that ain't really worth it, I'm thinking, what if this fool's a crash officer on some other bullshit, right? And I'm knocking on the door so tough that when I finally knock through and be like, do it, then he'd be like, all right, fuck it, I was here for something else, but you going. I'm like, nigga, this would be a wrap. You know what I mean? Like, this would be a wrap. Is this what you graduating to, Seb? Is this where we going? And so I said, nah, fuck this shit, homie. Like, and like you say, I felt like I let y'all down because it's different times, It was especially with L. It was like, yeah, let's come on, Mac. Let's. We was getting into so much shit, and
what's crazy is after all these years, we never even talked about it. We never even reminisced about it. And I could tell it wasn't your thing. I said it in a story, but after knowing you now for over 30 years. I know damn sure for sure that ain't your thing. You don't get down like that. You're a hardworking man, a good father, and you always provided for yours the right way. So I mean, you hustled a little bit. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying over the course of over 30 years, you've been a hardworking black man.
Yeah, well, see, that was that, and that's why I was thinking when I heard it, I thought, you know what? Actually, what you brought up was the Crossroads, right? So. Yeah, I even had a job in my teen years, and I hustled here and there. You know what I mean? I never tried to go heavy on it. And and the jacking, that was just kind of like something we learned from the street, like, being what they call them back east, stick up kids, right? And being stick up kids, look what you done did. And so we used to do a lot of that just to go to the skating ring. We used to like hit fools and catch fools slipping, go out, look for, even by the time Big Darren, and that's by the time it's like 16, 17, Big Darren started hanging out. We used to go find like spots. We used to be late at night just driving around looking for shit to get into. But and as much stuff that I might have got away with and didn't get all caught up, like it just kept like getting to this point where, okay, what's gonna happen? And that right there, when we did that, that was like a crossroads, like, you gonna finally stop. And then look, 2 more situations happened after that. One up in Hollywood, where it turned into some other stuff. L remember with Big D and some crazy shit, and it just escalated. I was like, man, this shit is starting to become like I think that was like in the 91. It started escalating to just some more shit, and then I don't even know. I think the other time, the time you came over and something had happened, that was still in the 80s when they took me to jail in the back of the car.
Yeah, I still got that picture.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking through my photo. I thought I still had it too. I remember laughing like, yeah, it's funny, right? But, when I went, I didn't even really do no time like that or nothing. But when I went, I was just like seeing everything fast forward. I'm thinking about shit that Pop said, and he's been in and out. And my plight in life, how that went, and how he used to always be on my head about don't do this, don't gang bang, don't do that, don't do that. He like, your Pops is he said, I'm an outlaw, I'm this, I'm that. But but he hard on me about don't be a gang banger, don't do this. He seen all this shit coming. And on top of it, he mentored different folks. While he went through like a little drug program, he was off of methadone and different stuff to come off of things he was on. So he used to like deal with a lot of like cats in my neighborhood and try to keep them out the way. He'd take them to the junkyard, stuff like that. So I was rolling with him a lot of time, and I've seen how he mentored different folks. So I seen it, but then once I lost him, by the time I was 16, it was like, okay, remember like all that shit that was influential that I wanted to get into. Now I was able to do it, but I had to still kind of like figure out, was I just going to go all out, trip out, or try to kind of hold it back some? And by the time you caught me with the camera and in the back seat, like I'm going in, I'm like, damn, niggas, where's you getting ready to go with this? And that was a random situation. That I didn't even go out looking for that situation. It was just, it showed me in my mind how I felt like I was just kind of out of control. Because if I got caught for this, what about all the shit I was doing? Mm-hmm. So it just kind of, if you remember, like it made me pump my brakes to where I remember after, because I don't even never know if it was a proper DA reject or what. Like, it was funny because when I went to court for it, we showed up on the date. Nigga, they never called me. They never called me. So I was like, okay, well, are they going to call me tomorrow? Is it going to be turned into a warrant if I, like, it was weird. So I was spooked for a cool minute. And when I used to come over your house, like I started, man, I just could see myself. I look at some of the pictures of me and Pro in your backyard. I was looking at the other day. I showed my son. I said, man, you see how square I look right there, bro? I was nervous like a motherfucker. I was like, man, I just don't even want to deal with it. Which brings up another point, Kev. Like, and where I'm reaching at this point in my life, I'm like, and I've kind of always done this before, but I'm like, I'm looking for the dude that was me. I'm looking for the dude or folks like guys like me that ended up in some shit and they really, really rather spend their time expressing themselves, music, art, or whatever. But they get caught up in some shit and they like, damn, you know what I mean? Like if I could change or if I could do it different, I prove like I'm done. And so I think I've spent a lot of my time pushing that over the years. And so I went hard into focusing on my kids and, punk ass little jobs and shit. But I really still was trying to titter-tot and to get into what I really wanted to do. So I think now has been like where I've been like really trying to line that up for myself. That's all.
Yeah, let me correct something, man.
Yeah.
It's something I have an issue with a lot of my friends.
Mm.
You wasn't never no square. You may have been off in your own world doing your own thing because you was a player. You had women and a main woman back when you was young, and of course you was into the rapping, going to the different outlets, busting raps and doing your music and stuff, performing at World on Wheels and all that. You wasn't never a square. You was just into a different type of lifestyle. But you wasn't never no punk or nothing when it came to crime or criminal activity or none of that. True enough, it came a point where you was like, I don't want to go that route. Like, let them niggas go to prison. Let them niggas sell keys and get caught. You stopped at a certain point, but you wasn't never no square, no punk.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, see, like L L's the cool homie. L is the consistent homie to look out for everybody. He's there. He got everybody's back. But back then, L was a rider, man. L stayed in some shit. And the part I was telling Baby S Mac, the part I left out in the story is we was 3 peas in the pot at that time.
Yeah.
We rolled together, we rolled out, and we caused a lot of havoc. I remember you came up with a name for us, Disturbing the Peace.
And we was on that shit too, and it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, and so, like I said, at that time, like L, and like even like, I mean, because Race used to be off into his shit. He was already on some shit. And Case, he was on some shit, but it was just like yo, like you and I was lining up like yo. So it was a trip. But hold on, let me decline that. I can't take that call. So yeah, man, like the player shit. You know what I mean? I just kind of had to find my lane. You know what I mean? Like it's all out there to be, and I knew my role and what it was with me. Little hustling, but I really wasn't trying to see really fucking with it on no heavyweight shit. And my pops kind of died over some shit fucking around with it. So it's like I did it to survive here and there, got rid of my tickets and shit like that. But I really didn't want to fuck with that too tough. And then
so you never been to prison,
that,
right?
But like that's whatever. You know what I mean? Like that was whatever. I nigga didn't really want to take it to a pimp status, no shit like that. I just, was just from the streets doing what we did. And trying to figure it out, bro. But it's a trip though, because look, you was mentioning the rap thing. I was using your camera early up in the Good Life era, going up there filming that stuff. And L used to have a camera sometime too. He had some of the old footage, and it's just those are little pieces of time, like in the early '90s, of stuff that was popping. You even used to fuck with music. You don't never talk about that, huh, kid?
No, I was telling my partner from Compton the other night. I was like, you know what? I ain't never put it out there, but it was a point in my life where I didn't know which direction I wanted to go. So I flirted around doing a lot of different things. But see, my thing, like I tell my audience, I ain't got no rhythm. I'm not a rhythm type of guy. So I couldn't do nothing involving no music or no hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that talent in me. You can't hear me? Oh, you got your shit on mute, homie. Hang up. Hang up. Hang up. Hang up. Hang up. Just hang up.
One more thing.
All right, now I hear you.
You hear me?
Now I hear you.
Okay, as long as you can hear me, because I can't really.
You had your mic was on mute.
Headphones and all that, and then some shit came through. Anyway, say something one more time.
Your mic was muted.
Okay, well, as long as okay. So yeah. Nah, but you had some cool ones, right? Like it was like off the Easy E / Ice-T thing when you had the ones about your 6 tray, your 6'4". Whoop, my 6'4" Impala. Remember that? Left the battery on. Nigga, that shit was hard. and you was on that in the 80s, mid 80s, bro.
You know what I mean? And you didn't really necessarily stay pushing it, but yeah, man, I always dug that shit. And it's kind of funny getting back to this some of this shit. Like I got this song called Lolo and Hot Switch. So I've been posting some L's low riders. I don't think I posted. I might have posted one of the pics of yours. Just because we fuck with the cars and all that shit. And so I'm posting and I'm listening to the song. When I wrote that song, it was from a space of just being like, look, I deal with hip hop on all kind of levels, and it came from a time where I was actually getting frustrated work wise, holding the family, doing the whole thing, and in the song I just kind of was like, fuck everything, fuck what people going through if they don't understand my reality, and it's a cool song. It's definitely something for the lowriders to bump and shit like that. But one verse I talk about just how being overdue, feeling like I've been thought this shit was gonna pop for me, and just being through with it. Second verse I talk about how I did serve for a while, but then I started realizing, between that and other shit I was getting into, my value of life has started falling. And I was starting to see stuff like that happen with my partners and myself, where some of my little partners would be talking to my mom different. You feel me? Like might have been coming, I might have been holding some money for them or something else, and they get to talking crazy to my mom, or I'm out here doing shit, or doing some things that what I mean, with somebody, with the neighbors, and what I mean, just shit to just change. And we could glorify it and clown, but I just start seeing shit change with me that I say, well, fuck, I gotta try to do something different. And I already knew my little bro was on what he was on. So if I couldn't, change nobody else's path, I just had to do what I had to do to, do what I was on. So yeah, man, that's why I just stayed doing that.
Let me ask you a couple questions.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm gonna ask about your brother. How did you feel when he got hooked up with gangs? How did you feel about that?
Man, I felt like I kind of let my pops down, to be honest with you, bro. Um, a lot of the stuff we did was very influential to my little bro, like lining him up for it. You feel me? We kind of glorified it, like we was on some hustler shit, but it always had a G edge to it. I pretty much kind of kept a lot of that shit to myself. I kind of was sectioned off. My graffiti shit was that. Our rapping player shit was that. My LTH, my lifetime hustler shit was that. And we kind of like glorified it, and it wasn't that my pop swag wasn't too far off of that. He just didn't have no kind of element. He rolled with the LA Choppers a bit, and he was doing his own thing. But when my little bro came into that, he was just a little one who was around for so long, and he might have had some of the adversity that I got, but my pops was around. So then by the time I lost my pops, my little bro kind of like just had like, he had a certain connection with a lot of like certain G's in the area. They used to let him clean, work on their cars, wash their cars, and put some money in his hand because he was about money. So, and then he was getting hold of, he was watching everything. So he was getting hold of work. He was doing shit young, him and his little partners. And so I was like, he just cool. He's slick. He's too slick for his age, like coming out of elementary into junior high. Like he was slick like that. Then they started doing G rides, all that. But I just kept telling him, bro, don't put that thing on it. Don't put that thing on it. And then by the time he was old enough, it was like, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. That's on you. I just telling you what Pops told us. I got one bro, he was on the red side more, because that's where my dad's side, they was up there. And then down on the bottom where I was up, we grew up right there. Then my little bro was with that. So it's like they never had issues with each other, and they kind of was in it and kind of not. And I was just like, look, this is what Pops want us to do. He want us to work together and build something, but I could never keep it together. So my little bro, when you talking about, I just had to sit up and watch him go through it. Like, you know what I mean? Like he go in, be away, go in, go be away, and then one part, just look, this is the pattern too, Kev. And I don't know if a lot of folks, they love this in all kind of ways. And we even see how it happened in this hip hop where it's a lot of folks dying over all this shit. But where I came up and how I grew up, bro, I got popped. My pops got popped and killed, and my little bro got popped. You know what I mean? So that goes on in a regular where I was coming from. So it wasn't even like nothing funny. It just is what it is. And you could go harder and just be like, I'm gonna kill everybody else. Or you could just be like, okay, I'm gonna just lay low, do what I gotta do. And my little bro, man, when that one really hurt me kind of tough, because I don't even know if he was out there like that on the line doing some shit. I just know how it happened. I get the call and he just was like, man, we was just rolling somewhere, like, and some random shit happened. So I don't, you don't know what that was. It was kind of tough, and I was happy that he made it through it. He lost his little best friend, and me and you, it's a lot of people that was around, like, you know what I mean, gays, like a lot of different people we know that after like that first, and from the 80s to the 90s, we lost a lot of people, bro. I mean, and this on that was close to us, that went into some street shit, and then we lost a lot of cats as Graffiti even went that direction. So, it was just kind of interesting thing for me. I mean, if that answers the question.
Anyway. Yeah. Another thing, do you know anybody that watches my live streams, that talks to you?
That watches your live streams?
Yeah.
Other than when I talk to L, like, ain't nobody like. Well, I'll tell you it this way. I don't. Not nobody that's just like other than some of like the people that you may just know off the top. Like, you know what I mean, like L or somebody, and Shawnee, which I don't talk to them. I don't see them that often. I might talk to L a little more than you or them, and or somebody like Mark 8 or whatever. They used to hang Wayne and somebody.
Right. No,
I was looking.
I just asked because a couple people be saying Mark's a real one, Mark's the homie, Mark's a good dude. So I just wonder how many of these people go back.
I seen one in the chat. Yeah. The one I seen in the chat the other day, that's Mr. CR. Now, I can speak on him because as far as I've always seen him, with him and his brother and his thing, not only was he a spitter, rapping reputable on that level, but he was a young brother that was from off the east side, a little bit of everywhere in LA, just on some G shit, but pushing his rap thing at the same time. So, that dude, I seen him in the comments and he made a comment. I was like, oh yeah, I know that dude. I know, Matter of fact, when we was doing a magazine back in the day, I was trying to look at seeing if I could, gave him a little angle in there. For his music back in the day. But other than that, like I jump in, I jump out, I jump in, jump out. So I haven't really heard from nobody that might have said something, but hopefully, if they just in there, they just know about it.
I seen Mr. CR when Ice-T got his Hollywood star.
Oh yeah, that's what's up.
All right, I want to read
putting in a lot of work lately.
Sorry about that. I want to read a comment to you. This brother from Austin, Texas said, those videos you did are underrated. I thought them videos are good, but others still won't go back and watch them.
Good point. I feel that a lot of the hip hop content on your channel might get underrated. You know what I mean? Like they missing the point, not the point like that, because you always cover things on an all hood perspective, but that's a lot of Los Angeles history, you know what I mean, and it overlaps with streets and everything. So I think some people miss that, but but then at the same time, you have the content. I feel that it could be maybe angled and re-brought up. It like you said, you haven't been in LA, so you haven't did a lot of revisit videos with a lot of the other G's you talk to. So I mean, if you're not really here like that, I can't see it just popping on some other levels. But I have been working on some stuff to hopefully look up to getting in with you and chopping up on some stuff once I'm ready to put that stuff up together.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Glasses Malone reached out to me the other day. He was saying that he could probably help me get in touch with somebody in the industry and repackage these videos. And that's cool. That's not the first time somebody said that. I prefer new content and hold on to the old content. Yeah. But it's a couple more OG homies that I could probably get at and get a couple more interviews. I just haven't asked them because I don't know when I'll be in LA, and I don't know if basically how soon I want to put their content out. But there's more pieces to the puzzle is what I'm trying to say from the 60s that I haven't interviewed.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I was wondering how you perceived that video since I didn't talk to you about it or the incident itself.
Yeah. Well, like I said, because like even off the top, like I hadn't remembered. I just remember the dude face was different. Like when I seen him, I just remember he seemed like he was out of place where he was at. You know what I mean? And maybe that was just my perception, but I was like, what's he doing out here like that? So that's why it looked like he was an easy Vic. And then so when I was like, oh, I think he might have been, and it didn't really matter, no on some race shit. It just was what it was. But like you defined it well in the video. And then I was like, damn, I wish I would have known. Like I would have liked to have partook with you because it was a bit of comedy to it because here we was out there. It wasn't like we was like, you know what I mean? When we was out there, we was like, it was being, it's just like joyriding, right? When they doing G rides and like y'all out here joyriding, y'all was having fun. We was having fun, but we had a mission to go along with it. And when we did it, it was funny, bro, because like I said, the nigga, like, and then it was kind of an ego check to me because like, look, you could act big and bad, or you could be big and bad, but you gonna just run into some shit every now and then. The nigga was like, he had the audacity to not take me serious. So I kind of was taken back, like, wait a minute. But he didn't do it in a way where he was like confrontational. He did it in a way like, oh, well, can I just get a minute here? And I'm like thinking, like, what motherfucker? And I could have, and I thought for that first whatever amount of time that I didn't do shit. And then I was like, fuck it. I went back to y'all like, okay, because I'm thinking we getting ready to do this shit all night. Like, something about this one, I'm going to just let it go. You're like, nah, man, handle that. So I went back. And L, I guess maybe it's because me and L done talked about it again, where he always laughed because, Smiley, he laughed about everything. So it could be some serious shit and he's laughing about it. But we was, when I went back and then the shit was still like that, I'm like, I don't know. It's just a gut feeling for me, bro. It just felt weird. It didn't feel right. It felt like, nah. And then, like I said, maybe it was just me balance out. Like, is this how I want to, check out? And I look back at it now, and like I said, it was a crossroads because it was one of the things that was like, well, shit, bro, just start doing something different. And that's what I did. And I probably do the same shit. I'll do it again. You know what I mean? So
nah, but it just was a situation where I felt like you was uncomfortable and a little slightly out of your element. And that's why I never gave you a hard time or brought it up no more. Sometimes we not always at our best in somebody else's eyes.
Yeah.
And I've always been a very understanding individual because I tell my crowd, man, I'm nobody. I was nothing. And, I always put myself down so people don't expect too much of me. And it was all good because just think about it. Think about it. Our friendship has never stopped.
No, not at all.
It's never took a pause. We are, no matter what I was going through or you was going through, you knew where I lived. I knew where you lived, and everything's always been great.
That's for real. That's for real. It always been like that.
Yeah. Yeah, L, I was speaking to L. L's memory's bad. He's blaming it on COVID. He said when he got COVID, he lost a lot of his memory.
Okay.
So he don't remember a whole lot of stuff, but
damn.
Sometimes we forget stuff though. He was just telling me about some stuff we did. I'm like, I don't remember none of that. I don't remember. So maybe it's just us getting old, but I'm not gonna blame it on COVID. I was joking with him. I said, man, all the surgeries you had in dialysis, maybe they took some of your memory. Yeah, they took some of your brain
with some of the blood. It might have, because blood hold DNA shit.
Yeah.
Damn, L, that's a trip, man. Hey, And then I be tripping like you know, I don't catch everything, but like I was listening to the one you was talking about with Screwy, and I was like, I remember when you told me you met him, I never heard the inside thing. So when I'm listening to the story, I'm like, oh, like I'm really picturing it all out, you know. I'm like, okay, that's what's up. Then when you was talking about with Pan, and I'm like, my nigga, like you ain't never lied, y'all. And then Pan came on and was chopping it up with you. You know what I mean? Y'all was all up over there. You was all up over there. Y'all was doing the gambling and shit. Y'all had that shit going. I look at some pictures the other day where before Pan sold Lil E the Cadillac with the gold leafing on it with the D's and all. Yeah. I got a picture right there on Gramercy. They go L in the Cutlass and they go Pan in the Cadillac. You know what I mean? We passing through. So, you know, I see all that. I see all that shit. So whenever I see you dropping this content, man, that shit is dope as fuck, bro.
Yeah, good looking out. You know, I try to explain to my crowd that I can't tell every story. Some stories ain't just for YouTube. So
yeah, at all. Yeah. Right.
So I like to sit back and think how I can tell some of these stories. And some people that were a part of these stories, they know I'll be leaving some stuff out purposely. I can't just, it's not a tell-all thing. It's just an introduction into the life that I led, or the life of LA, man. LA, I don't even like to say gang banging, because even people that didn't gang bang still did the same things the dudes that bang did, just not as much, and maybe not to the degree, but man, your neighbors gang bang, your friends gang bang. So how are you gonna get left out of
it? Hey, Kev, when you said that, bro, that's such a reality, right? So that was a life experience. So it's funny because look, in a rhyme I said, see, you can stay up out of the dirt, but still I figure more than half of all the niggas you know live by the trigger. It's bigger than you. Don't trip, but stay realer, because fools will get twisted when seeing they ain't the killer, and it'll creep through your mind like caterpillars when niggas hit them corners and waving they 9mm. You feel me? Like, you know, and it's sad, bro, because I look at some of these youngsters and like everything, but like, okay, so in the modern time, what used to be the sucker MC, now is everybody like is an op and pull up and op and pull up and op and pull up. And I'm watching niggas drop weekly for the last 5 or 6 years. And I'm like, and my son and the kids get y'all say, bro, you ready to live what you talking about? Cause you just saying that shit on some random shit, my nigga. Like, it's wild. It's wild. And I mean, and then what is the content? Look, let me ask you this, Kev. If rap never developed into rap, let's say it skipped Uncle Jam's Army era. Let's just say it was at the funk parliament whole get down, right? And it stayed from that, and it just kind of like it didn't really get no more than like Atomic Dog and like funk shit. Would all the funk shit be at this time like that type of conversation? It's not to say that cats don't get in the street doing shit, because the dude Ghostface talking about and one of them groups, I don't remember, not Harold Melvin and Blue Note, one of them old school, not the Temptations, one of them old school groups. He got a little story. He like, man, me and the such and suches just came out the studio and it was a gunfight and they was there bucking too. And so shit happened, but I'm just saying the content of the conversation has became like so much that it just make me wonder, like, if we never rapped, where would it be? You feel me? Yeah, so it's just interesting.
Yeah, y'all, you was a big part of LA underground hip hop, man. I think it would have disappeared without you and some of your dudes that you knew. Mr. CR seemed like he was a big piece of.
Yeah.
What's that spot over there by Lamert?
The Project Blow.
Yeah, Project Blow.
Yeah, but he was a part of the Good Life before the Blow.
Good Life, yeah, I remember that. That was what, Jefferson and Crenshaw?
Jefferson and Crenshaw, yeah, exactly. Right? And so now watch this. The Good Life was popping, and then before the Good Life, you know, World on Wheels, Venice, there used to be, they had some slamming and jamming stuff in the early 90s, but they used to have they had iFresh, which was pretty much maybe Project Blow before Project Blow, Chaos Network. And then there was another one, Jumpin' Jack Records or something a little more. One of LA Cool, which LA Cool out of Good Life. LA Cool, Crenshaw High, I think Dorsey, one of them. LA Cool J, but LA Cool, he old school spitter. He was younger than me, but this is a cat that was like on the cover of one of them techno hop albums. See, old West Coast shit, like in the swap meets, like when King T and Toddy T and all that was happening, Bataram. He was on one of the covers, him and his clique on some posse shit with the clocks on it and the whole thing. And so Mr. CR and him used to hit bars heavy up at the Good Life. And you know, my boy Gunja K, rest in peace, my boy Mean Green, rest in peace. You know, LA Underground, man. And you know, we remember all that shit, man. We remember all that shit.
Yeah, them was the good old days, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Sometimes I look back and I'll be like, I can't believe I lived that life. Then sometimes I'll be like, man, that was so long ago, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my mid-50s. I'm like, man, this is shit, teenage shit and 20 years old type shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? It is crazy because shit, you was bro, Syndicate, all that, but then like Chucky, TDF and all them, right? And Donald D, all that early hip hop, even us up there at the Everlast Rhyme Syndicate shit with Everlast, right? So that's all the like early bases off of Ice-T, like, you know what I mean? Like that was early bases hip hop. And yeah, when you look at how them years done flew, bro.
Yeah.
Like that was it took for me to actually like slow the video down and just capture the frame. I'm like, bro, there we go right there, like it was yesterday. You know what I mean? Up until now, and I'm like, damn, that time fucking flew by. You feel me?
Said, hey, they want Monique. They want you to call in. Hey, look, Seb, my homie from Compton. He just asked me that. He was like, man, what was your relationship to Ice? When did you meet Ice? And it's funny because people want me to tell Ice-T stories, but I explained to the homie from Compton the reason why I won't do it is because in some of these videos, these gangbang videos, people mention Ice-T from the red side and the blue side.
All right.
And Ice's response to me was, these fools are just clout chasing. So I'm like, whoa, I don't even want to be in that conversation. But the homie from Compton was like, nah, but you really know Ice. Ice really know you.
Yeah, but you ain't never tried to milk off that.
No, I don't. But they sure be tempting me to tell some stories. It's not that they're good stories, but it'll kind of show.
You just all LA. You just all hood. That's all, Kev. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and I can see you got a good point because. Yeah, it ain't even about all that, but just I feel you though. Man, I never seen that about you or nothing about this platform like that.
G Fizzle, what up, man? Good looking out for the comment. Appreciate it. Stockton in the building, man. That's where moms grew up, man. I used to love going to Stockton when I was a kid.
Stockton, California. I like that story you had about Stockton. Yeah. That shit was dope.
Man, after I left, I got calls and comments that they be killing up in that park. I kind of figured that, but I wasn't tripping because, you know, when you grow up somewhere, you feel comfortable going over there.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel no hostility. But when we were leaving, some fools in the motel was hitting us up. What you doing over here? And, you know, I told one of them, fool, fuck you, nigga. We leaving now. You could have hit us up when we first came and shit. But my son would laugh, and I'm like, man, don't even trip. We got roots here, man. And I had a female cousin up there, but I didn't have her number. I could have went by there and hung out with her. You know what I mean? I didn't have her number. I didn't even know that anybody still stayed up there because I don't talk to that side of the family no more.
Yeah, Stockton.
They not my blood cousins. They my brothers and sisters, cousins. We need no day for the reals here and not here. They're appreciated. We need no day for the reals here and not here. Oh, for the reals is here and not here. The real ones. I mean, you know, I'm always paying homage to the OG dead homies, and you know, when people pass, I usually give them a shout out. You know, say rest in peace. This LA, you know, we got so caught up in saying he a real one, and all this, right? But to me, everybody's a real one, really. As long as you ain't no punk or no rat, you're a real one. And the cold part in the 2000s, a lot of real ones, they ain't really real no more. So the term real is really watered down because some of those real ones are now rats. They now dropouts. They now ain't no good. So
that's all that.
you know, I don't like when people attach the term OG on me or a real one. I don't like that. I tend to say somebody's with the business, and that can mean a lot of things. Like when I talked about you and L being with the business, we was fighting and we was jacking and we was doing things. But then talking about somebody like Peanut being a real one, no, he's a solid individual that done been through a lot, been in the trenches, been in the Corcoran and all those hard level yards to where a lot of people know him. He's a great representative of the turf. But yeah, I ran across some of them dudes over where you grew up, and they were some solid individuals. The thing about LA is we grew up in different neighborhoods, so we may or may not give the same respect to a rival as we would our own homies, but solid individuals everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
And I've been having this conversation a lot. I heard Glass Malone talking about it yesterday on Instagram, but I'm getting tired of these guys that are no good, and we still tend to praise them and put them on a pedestal. It's like that really waters down our culture and the epicenter of Los Angeles during the late 70s throughout the 80s and early 90s. Because now we comparing somebody that's no good to somebody that's all the way right. And it kind of gets under my skin. I mean, to each his own, to each individual, he got to live with whatever it is he did, whether it was a fight or paperwork, whatever it is. He got to deal with that. So I'm not out to scold no particular individual or, you know, try to really put my foot on the back of their neck.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we make bad mistakes, but I'm not finna up you like you so perfect and you so hard and tough. You know, you lose that after a while, man. When you mess up, you lose that, homie. It's like if you're on a basketball team and you shooting air balls at the buzzer to win a game or tie a game up, eventually you're gonna find your ass on the bench. And that's how I look at guys in the gangs that done dropped out, man. You're not a starter no more. You second string now. You know. Some niggas ain't on the team no more. Nigga, you kicked off, nigga. You completely off. I messed my whole point up, M7. My whole point was that OG dudes or dudes with a name, particularly dudes on YouTube, we keep telling this lie that we don't mess with no rats. It's a damn lie. The same niggas saying they don't mess with rats hang with rats. So that was my point. I'm tired of people saying that. We need to just let it go. You don't even have to speak on it no more. Keep it clean. You don't have to talk about it. Why lie? Why mess up your credibility? Why have people looking at you like, why that nigga lying? And then the conversation keeps going, and eventually we gonna have to drag them dudes' name through the mud to show you that we know who you messing with. And so I'd be like, man, I wish people would stop. Other than that, YouTube been pretty. I'm happy with the direction YouTube is going in right now with the gang talk and stuff. But um, I think we could use it more as an educational tool than upping myself over other people. Big me, little you.
Right.
I think people need to start saying, look, man, the lifestyle I lived wasn't cool. I don't want my kids doing it, my nephews doing it. It wasn't cool to throw 12 or 15 years. Like, they clown me, Seth. They clown me about not doing a lot of time in prison, right? Our culture is so messed up. What, you're supposed to be happy because you did 32 years or you did 38 years? That means you wasn't on the street to raise your kid. You wasn't there to help your mama out. You couldn't take the groceries out the car and take them in the house for her. You couldn't run and go pay the light bill for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You couldn't go to your kid's graduation from 6th grade to 9th grade, and if you're lucky, 12th grade. Like, our culture is so mixed up, and I just wish more guys would come on YouTube and talk about those type of things.
Man, hey Kev, when you were saying that, I had this vision. I was listening to a song earlier. I don't know who it was, and it kind of reminded me of what you were saying because in the song it was playing in the background. Soon as I get home, and the shit was bumping, right? And the dude was talking about like how he was gonna go out and get the paper by all means to take care of his moms. And so when you said it, it just was like just the opposite of that. Of that situation. But in this scenario, like whatever time the dude is saying like, as soon as I get back from this bid, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do it right, moms. I'm gonna come back and do it right. And I was like, oh, that's just interesting. Like I said, the track was knocking, and at the same time with what you're saying, look, bro, I myself, whatever status that well, look at me, I'm using the word G, but it could have been a G from Tukey. It could have been a G from like what you and Skip do. It could have been like I heard it when Big Ship was doing certain stuff from Gardena, like or even Geronimo Pratt when I heard him talk on the radio back in the late 80s, early 90s, and just or what Jim Brown was doing, just when men just do some men shit. And even if they was on something else at one point and they come back around, they be like, look, I did the math. This is what I came back with. Anytime that somebody come back with that, and so if the gang platforms tend to do that, because I mean that ain't my thing, but I'm saying the gang platforms, if they like you said, or at least or anybody using their platforms is like able to educate and let be what what them soldiers thing is, let it be. And for those that's not that, just however that need to be lined up, you feel me?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying, to each his own. And I'm saying these are my wishes, but I could kind of speak to when you mentioned Ship from Gardena, Geronimo Pratt, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Jim Brown, V.G. Guinness, T. Rogers. When you mention guys like this, they were able to do their thing and be appreciated. The youngsters looked up to them, like to get good advice from them and get educated by them. Their peers didn't give a damn what they was doing because they wasn't going to prison. But with us on these gang channels, the time you try to speak positivity or the truth, people think you dissing. People think it's a particular individual you putting down. People it's like they get uncomfortable. They get uneasy, like, hold on. This a truth teller or this a peacekeeper. And they get paranoid. And it's not our fault that one of their big homies or them themselves fall in the category in which we speak to. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when I speak in general. I just said I'm not calling out no specific individual. I'm just speaking in general, and people get offended by that. people be like, oh shit, this nigga's dissing. They look for a reason not to like you or a reason to think you a trouble starter. And it makes you wonder, like, what's going on in their life that they have nothing better to do or no better thought in response to what I say. It's crazy, Seb, but I love this shit. But like I tell everybody, I have my moments where I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then I have my moments when I love it.
All right. Well,
But,
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I definitely can imagine.
I like when people like you and Pan and L step up, because it just solidifies my memory and my truths. You know, and it's not that I got to prove nothing to nobody, especially after all these years, but you still get newcomers that don't really know my background or don't know my character, and they quick to say, oh, you're a liar. You know? And so it's good when real homies step up and come on the platform to speak.
Yeah. Hey, it's actually interesting, and I could get it because on one level, there's a lot of sensationalized, like just the fact that it's like, because YouTube is the new TV, bro. You know what I mean? Like Play TV, Netflix, all this, like you could just play it at whatchamacallit. It's the new TV, so I can imagine that it's a lot of stuff that's over sensationalized and like but bro, your shit is just real. And so when you tell the stories on, they like, is that possible? So naysayers and people, but you just talking about life. And so what I see when you put a lot of these people on and they tell their story, you know which one that I kind of like, just up off the top, the pop locking bro. Who be coming through with his lowrider and whatever. He speak to a time, like you say, with the striped shirts, you know what I mean, with the stripe,
The Charlie Browns.
With the Charlie Browns, that can't be on, and he's still that way to this day. You see him at the popping things, whatever. But that genius that he had to him, but he spoke on the era of the lockers and whatnot, and that was just awesome street shit and whatever. And like, so that's a whole perspective that people might have missed, but the people that deal with it, that be right next to the dude, like it's a pop locking dude, they're coming to mind, out of Compton. What is his brother's name? But he be in a lot of the videos too. Same thing, you know what I mean? Like it's just a reality, and it's our reality because we see it. Just like you have Space Ghost up there. Space Ghost was, rest in peace. It was up to what he did. Like this is all just from.
Wait. You said Space Ghost rest in peace.
Wait, who was the one that was the dancer? He ain't passed away.
Nah, he in prison.
Oh, that's what it was. He gone. Now I just know it was like he major famed and whatever, and was like one of the illest grip walking dancers and whatnot. That's why I remember that. But okay. Yeah. But my point to you is just when it's covered, maybe that's why the world look at us kind of like in a Hollywood way, like California lifestyles are kind of like until you get in and get the actual stories from the people, maybe they kind of more mystified. You feel me?
Right.
And so sometimes you get people that don't believe it because the first thing they do is, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I've never seen your platform try to like be on some fake other shit. But I think whenever you successful, because I imagine with street TV, he probably went through a lot of shit too. So I just think when you just doing your thing, you just gonna get a lot of people that be on that, and then you just gonna have people that's negative, bro. Especially when they behind, you can't see who they are. They just gonna be negative, throwing darts like hecklers and shit. You feel me?
Yeah. Sometimes you can't tell a troll from somebody that's just out the loop or hate. Hey, what was the dude named? The LA Lockers. Was that Tough? The little short dude?
I'm not sure. LA Lockers, I remember the name, but
well, there might not have been the LA Lockers, but it was a little short dude. He used to be popping his ass off. I think he got killed early on.
Oh shit.
I know you know what I'm talking about. He died so early in the game. I think his name was Tough.
Sound familiar? You know, I'll have to ask Create. Create might know. That's interesting. Hey, you know what? When you was it Rusty or what was the dude name from Gear that talked up on all that old history?
Yeah, Rusty, rest in peace.
Wait, he passed away?
Yeah, he passed. He had a heart attack.
Oh shit! I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Dude dropped some history from the 20s on down. He talked that story from walking up and back. He talked about the boxer.
yeah.
What's his name? The original Sugar Ray, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He
Sugar Ray
talked on
Robinson.
all that. Like I was like I'm walking like other than when you had Pookie and them talking about when they used to be down there on Crenshaw at the what was that? Was that called the Showcase or what was the name of that club they used to be out there in front of?
I'm not sure.
On Adams and Crenshaw.
It probably was the Showcase.
Okay, so I'm remembering the area and this and that, and like so when I be hearing them tell these stories, it's like you can almost see the landscape change every 5 to 10 years. You feel me? Because I know when I was young, like I remember the Victoria Streets right there in the 20s, you know, in the cities. Like I don't remember. And so when he had the Tukey time, I'm like, Tukey was there like that. There was Crips was hanging out there like that. Then when Rusty talking his story, I'm hearing it, but then it tied into all the other stuff, you know, like you know, it was a lot of great history right there, man. And just hearing these brothers get these conversations out. I found that very not just insightful but important for LA, bro.
Yeah. It was the Dominoes. Remember the Dominoes?
I remember the names. I
Like 4 or 5 of them popping all the time back then. His folks say he died in '92.
Oh,
he was a little itty bitty dude. He was tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I probably had to see him any and everywhere they went. I mean, because I'm sure they went to Venice. They probably went to Hollywood. You know what I mean? They probably was at World on Wheels. So they sound familiar. I'd have to like have it stitched to me. Like I remember the Royal Flushes and you know and the this and the that and the Bedrock. I remember a lot of that. But I remember Michael Brown and them up there when I was up at Sutter and them. Doing it like they was from out the 60s and they had the khaki suits. I remember Rerun from over up in St. Elmo. You know, I remember like different things. So the dude you telling me he sound familiar, but I'd have to like yeah, I don't know. What I mean, but how did he pass away?
I don't know. I don't think it was no violence. I think it was health reasons. I think.
Okay. You know where there's a lot of history, Kev? Every side of town got some history, right? Just like Compton, I think Centennial, all that history. Well, you covered a lot of it when what's the middle school right there that the 60s and the A-Trays went out of?
Horseman.
That area got a lot of history. Like I talked to the cats younger than me, 5 and whatever years, and when they talk about, you know, like the same, it's almost like how it was for the older cats that you have talk and the histories that go on down to the younger ages and the shit, you know, the fighting, the all the whole shit. But then at the same time, the lives and the different sets or whatever walks of life that they went, and there's always usually history of who eventually got into this, got into that, and you know, it's just interesting when I hear these stories, man. So it's a lot of history right there.
I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read a comment real quick.
Yeah.
I was just giving my Pyru partner an invite. But look, he says M7, did you ever go to New York City to check the graffiti in the 80s or 90s or run into some of their crews at Venice?
Okay. I never went to New York. When I went to New York, I was going to Jamaica, so I only passed through. But I will be going. But the people that I caught out there at Venice, Some of the ones that influenced or inspired me, Brim from Tatch Crew, and I've let him know that I deal with him on on social media. Brim was one of the hitters. Sharp was a dude that came out here, but Zephyr killed it at the beach, and of course Soon and legit was from out here, but Soon, and you already know because you covered it. But Soon was from New York, and he was putting it down in our area, and because of like I guess for on this side of town, there was certain cats that even if they didn't hit Venice Beach, they hit like there used to be a spot by Kaiser on La Cienega. There was in the cut. I think Futura hit a spot right there, and then everything else was like mid Wilshire, Beverly, and Third and Hollywood. And I've seen those cats from New York work, but by the time I got a chance to really meet a lot of them New York dudes back in 2010, no, maybe we did it for 2020 or 2012. We went up to the Bay Area, and it was a lot of brothers. We did it 2 times, but we was like a lot of brothers from New York, a lot of the old original Graph Head Scheme and them cats, Chain 3, Slave, oh bro, Shame, oh bro, it was so many dope ass brothers from New York that came down. I got a chance to build, and I just seen some of them in Texas too last year. So that's
Hey,
that.
happy Father's Day, Slick, man. You one of the ones I forgot to hit up today, man.
Oh yeah, Slick was a G.
It's all good. Yeah, man. That's a trip, man.
Yeah,
Them
yeah,
was, them was the good old days, though, man.
yeah. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, man, them was some good days, Crenshaw, all that shit.
Did your kids come see you today?
Mm,
Why you
talking
get
to
quiet?
Slick or me?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, my oldest boy, he getting married next in August, so he gonna be out this way. My second oldest, he was here today, and then my youngster, like, because I get him half the time. So my 4-year-old came and was with me, and then my other one, he was with his auntie and them. He spent yesterday with me in this graffiti class I do, and then some other shit. So yeah, I got a chance. I'm always
You
around
got
my kids.
where you got a graffiti class at?
It's mobile. We kind of like do it different locations. Right now, we're still developing to as we get like more as we get more people. We hold it once a month by donation, and so it's how you call it, location to be announced type thing. But Dep 5 came through. My boy K Swiss, he came through. The homie Castro came through. The homie Peace was supposed to come through, but he didn't make it. And then they had some kids there. So, and my boy Sight. So we do it once a month. And then, like I say, depending on who comes, and then if they want specific, like what do you want, like they can get it kind of a la carte type of thing, what they want. Because even the homie with Sight, he's offering like graffiti healing. So there's a therapeutic process that he working with offering, and then I'm just working with the basics. And then depending on how tough they are, I'll get them into some metaphysics, some other shit. But so we just been doing that kind of here and there.
Create ain't part of that movement.
Well, he's a part of the crew, but he does a lot of classes. He does classes at different locations. You know what I mean? He does classes at different locations, so he's doing it. I'm working on getting out there a little more like that too. But this was just something me and Sight put together from after we did this project called Graffiti Lounge, where we did kind of like a podcast project where we talked about a lot of different stuff from his earlier era to my to my older era, and we just tied things, as black writers coming together and talking about a variety of subjects. One of the dope things we talked about was ladies that was inspiring, you know what I mean? Like ladies that we give it up to that did graph and whatnot. And also we just talked about a variety of things, but Sight did like 8 years, bro, for the graffiti shit. He stayed down like, just pushing through that, and came back and just started trying to do different shit with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ran across Risky, the white boy Risk?
I haven't seen him recently. I seen him some years back. We was both painting the back of this one spot that was over in my own neighborhood off of Pico called 333rd. And we talked for a minute, and he was like, "Does Soon ever talk to you?" And da da da. And we talked for a minute. He's cool. I don't see him on no regular basis. He be doing some major, some other
Major
shit.
stuff.
Yeah, he on some other
Commercials
level.
and shit, huh?
Huh?
I say he doing commercials and big events.
Yeah, he tied in on some other shit.
Who would have ever thought Graffiti would come to that? But of course, it would be a white guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But Risky paid his dues though, man. Risky came a long way. He stayed consistent and stayed profession. How you say it? Professing his craft.
He definitely did that. And then because at the time that him and Slick kicked it off in the late 80s, when they got together, they kind of put a niche. Like, we recognize a lot of people for different things, but they kind of put a niche in the game at that time. And then they, I guess they, like you said, they just kept doing things that kept them relevant one way or another, but taking it to new plateaus. So dude definitely do that. Scene, the dude from the white boy Scene from New York was on his head. They was tight for a minute, but then he was on his head, so I don't know what that was about. But
everybody on Risky head.
Yeah.
I think they expect financial gain out of Risky, and when it don't happen, it's a problem.
Well, but you know what? Okay. I mean, but like, I don't know, because look, when it goes to Scene already probably got his own thing going, but then again, I don't know. I don't know what that is,
Yeah. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there, but have you talked to Soon lately?
Little back and forth, I gave him a happy Father's Day and whatnot, and he sent me a couple of things I haven't got a chance to look at yet. But we ain't really chopped it up. I'm hopefully he'd come down to Texas. The homie Dap throw an event down there. He be having like TC5, a lot of dope New York hitters, FX Crew. Shit, man. We came down there, me, Create, and the crew RTN. We went down there with it. Like, they got a whole creek, bro. Like, it's dope. So a lot of us talking about trying to get out there for this year, but hopefully soon to come. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All
right, man. Soon. I'm gonna wrap it up, bro.
Yeah.
You finally got to tap in.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Good shit. That's good shit, man. Indeed. You enjoy your rest of your Father's Day, bro.
Yeah, you too. For the viewers that's watching, SAG should be coming around sometime this week, and I got a few stories for y'all this week. One, I'm gonna have to pull down and redo it because I got something wrong, and I don't want to publish that out there. I want to straighten it out and give the most accurate info I can. I'm not gonna tell you which video it is, but Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, man, y'all be sure to tune in and run them numbers up. Got to run them numbers up. Seb, do you share my videos or only if it's something pertaining to a particular person?
Whenever I go through, I share them because it's like, well, I guess I share because I can't shoot them to nobody that don't want, you know what I mean?
That's not
if they on some like graffiti, like they might miss the point. But if it's some people that like street conversation or it's something in it that was like, hey, y'all need to listen because there's a jewel in there, like the Rusty shit, and that could have went to someone or the shit, just anything. It could be like, because I send a lot of videos that whenever I hear something in that could be useful, but I have to break it down, like, because I'm a listener. I'll sit and listen to a whole thing. And I love whatever I happen to come up on. Some people be like, what part? And if they missing it like that, then I can't waste the energy on sending it to them. You feel me?
Right. I got you.
You know, but for those that be on it, like it's a cat that stay in my building. He likes shit like, you know, like when I first told him, hey man, you ever watch Kev Mac? La, 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 la. Oh, I watched this. Hey, check this out. And he go, oh man, that's dope. Hey, send me some more on that. Or hey man, I've been watching that. You know, so the folks that's on that line with me, that they either tell me or I'll tell them, and I'll send somebody the new shit, like that type of shit. But for like the dudes that's just on some other shit, I still will be like, I'll send it to them if I know that there's something that they could, hey, people out, learn from this,
Right.
And some people is open to it, and some people just, be on some other shit.
Right.
So yeah.
Hey, Derek Johnson, good looking out for the cash out. I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all take it easy and be sure to tune in to the videos this week. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Let's get this channel back cracking. It's hard to get it back going. Let's get these algorithms going and get people tuned in and talking again. All right, Seth, take it easy, bro.
All right, Kev, take it easy. Peace.